Hello, everybody, and welcome to our blog. I hope you're doing well, and we are now in Israel, or still in Israel. If you have seen our videos from Capernaum, Yardenit, and other places. So, anyway, we are still in Israel, and today we are going to take you for a journey in Lower Galilee, which is a northern part of Israel, in a place called Mt.Tavor. So we are going to visit this place. We are going to visit the church. It's located on the Mt.Tavor, just to walk around and maybe the most important to explain to you how to get there. And let me give you a spoiler. It's not easy. We were quite lucky. Because we could get a ride with my brother, okay? So we started our journey from a place called Afula. Afula is located in the northern Israel, not so far actually from the Tavor mountain or Har Tavor in Hebrew. Maybe something between like half an hour, 40 minutes to an hour, depends on traffic. So let's start from the beginning, how to get there. We left early in the morning for obvious reasons to avoid traffic, despite it's Friday, and Friday usually in Israel the traffic is not so crazy. And to avoid heat, it's the middle of the summer in Israel, and believe me, middle of the summer in Israel is extremely hot. And to have our day before Shabbat starts, and there's no public transportation, no restaurants, no nothing. So we started from Afula, as I mentioned. We drove on Route 65, okay, for maybe around half an hour, a little bit less, until we took a small route code 7266, okay? If you have Google Maps, you can check it up. And we took a direction to Daburia, okay? You will see the sign, you cannot miss it, Mt.Tavor, Daburia. Daburia is a small village, a small Arabic village, and actually it's quite tricky. Don't expect too many signs inside Daburia regarding the Mt.Tavor and regarding the monastery. We saw just few sites, and that's all. Luckily we had GPS. Now the GPS somehow, I'm talking about Waze, try to take us to dead ends. So we just drove basically, based on our senses more than on anything else. Just few signs you will see around, and this is typical Middle Eastern village. So we're talking about very small, narrow streets. Half of them are just bring you to a dead end. It's quite a challenge, to be honest. Even for us, and we used to drive in this kind of condition. But anyway, after spending some time and, passing 2 or 3 dead ends, turning around and stuff, we were able to see the sign, and we found a direction, a route that leads to top of the mountain, okay, the Tavor mountain, as I mentioned. The route is quite tricky, as you can see on the video. It is extremely narrow, okay, and is a mountain road, as you imagine yourself. The view is amazing, but you should be aware, you should drive carefully, you shouldn't speed, and get your eyes open, avoid any accidents and stuff. The route is so narrow, so trucks or buses are basically not allowed there. Okay, so only cars or vans. Okay, these are 2 types of vehicles. I don't know, maybe motorcycles. I have no any idea. So let's say 3 types of vehicles that can enter this area. So you drive all the way up. There is a parking, and then from a parking you could go further. Okay. Now, what can you find in Mt.Tavor? While talking about Israel, first thing that comes into your mind, historical sites, and maybe some religious sites, that are a destination for pilgrims from all over the world. Doesn't matter what kind of faith they have. So Tavor Mountain is basically related to Christianity. Okay, on top of the mountain there is a Church of Transfiguration. Okay, which is a Catholic church. It is managed by Franciscan. Okay, Franciscan order. Okay, and honestly, if you want to get more details, you can just Google it. Is the story, I guess, mentioned in New Testimonials? Okay, let me ask my girlfriend. She's a Christian. Is it mentioned New Testimonials? She said yes, so I trust her, She's Roman Catholic so far. Let me give you a little secret. We are trying to convert her to Judaism, but it doesn't matter. Let's focus on other things. Okay, so finally we arrived. We are good. You see, we're parked, and let's go up. Good. So from the parking to the church itself is maybe, 15 minutes walk, 10 minutes walk. Depends how fast you are. So in the meantime, let me bring you a couple of boring facts. Okay, call me Wikipedia if you want. Because whatever I say, I guess you can easily Google it up and find it. So the elevation of Mt.Tavor is 575 meters or 1,800 something feet. Okay, quite visible if you drive almost from any point in northern Israel, especially Jezreel Valley. Now, it was mentioned a few times in the Jewish Bible. It has some history in during the Roman period, and Byzantine period, and the Second Temple period. Okay, and currently today, the history mainly connected to Christianity. Okay, so what you find there is a church of Transfiguration. Okay, sorry, apparently linguistic and me not the best friends, but I guess you forgive me. Okay, there's also a monastery, as I understood, is like a Greek Orthodox monastery. And a couple of interesting things, like if you take a look at the video, we were passing by and we saw some old cemetery. really old, like based on gravestones. Okay, not a big fan of cemeteries, but that's interesting. And yeah, so then we continue walking, and we saw some small buildings. Okay, size of a hut almost, and you can literally tell they were built long time ago. Okay. But we are not sure what the purpose of it, honestly speaking. Apparently, like the monks, the Franciscan monks from the church, or the Orthodox monks from the monastery use it. Okay, there is a door, there is a lock. What behind the lock? I'm sorry, but I cannot tell you. So you can see these constructions on our video. And the church itself, has a typical history, okay, for the churches. It was built in 1924, okay, quite young for a Middle East, almost like a baby. But as usual, the churches in Middle East usually were built on top of the old church and on top of the old church, and you have sometimes layer upon layer. Same with synagogues, actually. So it was built on top of 12th century church that was built on top of 4th to 6th century church. And honestly, I'm not sure if there's another church from even earlier. Okay, and now actually you see on the video that that hut, that building, I don't know what is it. The windows were closed, and the door was locked, and nobody was there. So we just look around. Looks pretty old, okay? I don't know what is it. I don't know what's there, but looks pretty old. And after that, we continue to the church, okay? You saw on our video a couple of vans passing by. So this point is very popular for pilgrims. Christian pilgrims. There are plenty of them. We spend there at the side maybe 40 minutes, I don't know, maybe an hour, even less, and just crowds and crowds of crowds, group after group after group after group. So what are usually doing? They're leaving the buses, okay, down in the village, okay, and then like whole bunch of vans picking up the people and bringing them up. Because again, as I mentioned in my previously, that buses are not allowed. So you will see plenty of people there and plenty of vans coming back and forth. And before that, just literally a few seconds ago, I think it was a well, but I'm not sure. Okay, it was blocked, and it's very old. I literally can tell you. So we're almost there. If you see at the end, just near these two very tall trees, is a gate. And behind this gate, you will see the church, okay? The monastery, as I understood, okay, is not, they're not allowing visitors. Apparently monks, they have their own stuff, and it's not a museum apparently. So visitors are not allowed. You see like a closed gate, but church is open anytime. And as I mentioned earlier, crowds and crowds, I guess hundreds if not thousands of tourist pilgrims coming there. So let's keep walking. Okay, so finally we arrived at the church, and unfortunately I wasn't able to get in and look around because based on my girlfriend is amazing, and you can see the video further on. Actually, I was wearing shirts, which is inappropriate for a holy place. And if you guys are planning to visit, I highly recommend for men to wear pants, for women to avoid shirts and mini skirts and stuff. But you can see the video here is amazing. Okay, at the same time when my girlfriend took a video, I was playing with some cats, stray cats outside of the church. There were plenty of them, and they're quite friendly. I guess they use to visitors. And here's another point, the observatory. That's all for today, guys. Thank you very much. See you again. I wish you a great day, and God bless you. Feel free to comment and like.